Time is 12 o'clock. Here is the midday news. First, the top stories. Governor Amosu says Ojude Festival in Ijebu has come to stay. Oshibajo asks separatist agitators to focus on how to rebuild Nigeria. Nigeria considers reducing the number of its pilgrims for Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Mother, her 5 children die from suspected food poisoning in Zamfara. In foreign, South Korea says North Korea preparing more missile after hydrogen bombs. And Trump sets to scrap amnesty for young undocumented immigrants. Good afternoon, I am Chienye Egwuonwu, bringing you the details of the news shortly. And now the news in details. Governor Ibikunle Amosu of Ogun State says the Ojude Festival in Ijebu has come to stay. The governor, speaking at the 2017 edition of the festival held in Ijebu, promises to create an enabling environment for such festivals to continue to thrive in the state. Amosu thanks God for the sound health of the Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono, considering the recent fake news on the social media about his health condition. The Awujale commends the governor while appreciating different age grade groups for their unflinching loyalty to him. The Awujale says the Ojude Festival has come to stay and difficult to be compared with other festivals. Dignitaries at the festival, apart from Amosu, included Deputy Governor Yetunde Onanuga, Otumba Shubomi Balogun, Chief Kola Banjo, the Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly Suraja Dekumbi, and former Governor Gbenga Daniel. The Akaribo-elect of Shagam, Prince Babatunde Ajayi, says the peace and development of Shagam and Remoland will top his agenda. The Akaribo-elect also promises to be open to advice and guidance on how to fast-track the development of Remoland. Prince Ajayi, speaking while receiving members of the Remo Elders Forum and Remo Resources and Recreation Center, also says that under his leadership, all interests will be united for the meaningful development of Remoland. Already, the Akaribo-elect explains that several indigents of Shagam and Remoland had indicated readiness to cooperate with him to develop Shagam and Remoland. Chairman of Remo Elders Forum, Chief Idowu Shofola, a senior advocate, urges the Oba-elect to bring a lasting peace to Shagam and Remoland and end all the conflicts between Mapu and Ofin quarters in Shagam. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has canvassed for a halt in the growing agitations for the breakup of Nigeria. Osinbajo says the abundant resources and energies of Nigerians should not be wasted on debating about the division of Nigeria, but on how to build a country that God designed it to be. The Vice President, making the call at the Presidential Sala luncheon at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, believes that the growing agitations are the pains that always accompany the building of a great nation that God is about to give birth to. According to him, God designed Nigeria to be a nation of diversity in opinions and ideas, where there will be endless arguments. Osinbajo, however, says he is extremely confident that Nigeria will remain united because of God's plan and purposes for it to be a preeminent black country in the world. Armed policemen have repelled attack by hoodlums on a police station in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. The attack by the thugs on Okebale police post followed alleged killing of one of them by a member of a police team responding to a distress call from members of the public. The police team, while engaging the thugs, shot one of them, who later died on being rushed to the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital. The other thugs launched a reprisal attack, attempting to burn the police station from where the policemen were deployed from. The rampaging thugs, who made bonfire on roads, were chased away by mobile police reinforcements who were deployed to protect the station. Armored personnel carriers were later deployed to guard the police station from further attacks. Nigeria is considering reducing the number of intending pilgrims from the country who will perform the Hajj in Saudi Arabia as from 2018. Chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Alhaji Abdullahi Muhammad, made this known while inspecting the Hajj pilgrim stands in Muna. 95,000 Hajj and Umrah slots, according to him, were approved by Saudi Arabia for Nigeria, which is the fifth largest of the participating countries. Mohammed explains that the Commission seeks to reduce the number of Nigerian intending Hajj pilgrims to a manageable size after consultations with major stakeholders. For example, the NACON chairman says the number of pilgrims has been increasing, while the Saudi authorities are not expanding the pilgrims' tents, leading to shortage of tents and toilets. Several firefighters of Boko Haram Sept have been rounded up in Kano State on the eve of Eid al-Kabir festival. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, who made this known while receiving the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammadu Damisi, at the annual Hawan Nasarawa, says the agenda of the arrested insurgents is to launch attacks during Salah celebration in the state. The governor explains that arms and ammunition were recovered from the insurgents, who were picked up by security forces who were acting on intelligence. The arrested terrorists, according to the governor, had been taken to Abuja for further investigations. A Catholic priest has been abducted by gunmen in the Olu local government area of Imo State. The state's police commissioner, Siriakus Omunkwo, who confirmed the abduction, says the priest was snatched from his car last Friday. A body identified as that of the priest, according to the police chief, was later discovered the following day in a bush in Omuma village in the local government area. He explains that the body bore no mark of gunshot or stab wounds, while his car was discovered intact with nothing removed from it. A mother, her 5 children, and a neighbor have died of suspected food poisoning in Shinkafi, Zamfara State. They are suspected to have eaten a leaf porridge which was contaminated by onion seed. The state's acting governor, Abdullahi Shinkafi, confirming the incident, says that others affected by the suspected meal are receiving treatment in hospitals. A team of medical experts, according to him, have begun investigating the cause of the deaths. You're still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business and sports news. Please do stay with us. In foreign, South Korea says it has seen indications that the North is preparing more missile launches, possibly an intercontinental ballistic missile. Defense officials have been briefing Parliament in Seoul after the North's test of a nuclear bomb at the weekend. The South Korea has responded to the test with live fire exercises with both ground and air launched rockets. The US has warned that any threat to itself or its allies will be met with a massive military response. The North Korea says it's tested a hydrogen bomb that can fit onto a long-range missile, while the United Nations Security Council is to hold an emergency meeting later on Monday to discuss its response. US President Donald Trump has decided to scrap a program that protects young undocumented immigrants. He will give Congress 6 months to draw up legislation to replace the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA), according to sources quoted by US media. Trump is due to formally announce his decision on Tuesday, while the Obama-era DACA program protects hundreds of thousands of so-called dreamers from deportation and provides work and study permits. The majority of the so-called dreamer immigrants in the US are from Mexico and other Latin American countries. Next in the Midday News is the business news. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says the prices of petrol are dropping at most of the depots and some filling stations nationwide. The ex-depot price at its depots, according to NNPC, is now 133 naira 0.28 kobo per liter instead of 138 naira, while some private depots are selling a liter for between 130 naira and 140 naira. NNPC spokesman Udu Uhamadu, who made this known in a statement, also explains that the pump price of petrol steadily shifted from 145 naira per liter to between 143 and 144 in some filling stations. He attributes the trend to the efficient supply and distribution of products. Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State has expressed concern that food shortage is imminent following the devastation of farming communities in the state by heavy rainfall and massive flooding. The governor, while visiting affected villages, says 1 week rainfall in the state has washed away the large portion of the farmland and food storage facilities. Benue, according to him, is a agrarian state and had invested massively in agriculture, but now fears that the expected bumper harvest is now elusive. The governor thanks President Muhammadu Buhari for promptly directing National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) to provide relief materials to those more than 100,000 people who were displaced by flood in the state, and the heavy rainfall has flooded most parts of Makadi, the state capital. Finally, sports news. Gombe United and Remo Stars have earned automatic demotion from the Nigerian Professional Football League with one match remaining to end the season. Remo Stars have just 29 points in 37 matches, while Gombe has 43 points. The third team to go down with them will be determined on the last day. ABS, Wiki Terrorists, and Shooting Stars are all suspects that can fill the last demotion slots. On the top of the league, Plateau United and MFM FC are leaving the championship decision to the final day as they stand just 1 point away from each other. Plateau led with 63 points, while MFM has 62 points. Enyimba International, who are third, have 58 points, while Akwa United occupy the fourth position with 57 points. Super Eagles manager Gennard Rowe has revealed that Odion Ighalo is doubtful for today's 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying game against Cameroon. Nigeria arrived Yaoundé 1:30 p.m. on Sunday with 22 players after Aaron Samuel and Ifeanyi were dropped. Ighalo, who scored the Super Eagles' opening goal in the emphatic win last week Friday, pulled a muscle in the game and was replaced by Kelechi Iheanacho. Cameroon will host Nigeria at the Amado Ahijo Stadium in a game in which a win will secure the World Cup ticket for Nigeria. Raw believes Cameroon will play and fight for pride in front of their fans. Meanwhile, Odion Ighalo says he is set to be fit for today's match against Cameroon. Ighalo got injured while colliding with Cameroon centre-back Christian Ngado after netting the opening goal in the encounter. The player says he is okay and will be ready for today's game against Cameroon. That was the midday news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Governor Amoso said Ojude Festival in Ijebode has come to stay. Oshibajo asked separatist agitators to focus on how to rebuild Nigeria. Nigeria considered reducing the number of its pilgrims for Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Mother, her 5 children died from suspected food poisoning in Zamfara. In foreign, we also told you that South Korea said the North Korea was preparing more missiles after hydrogen bombs. And Trump said to scrap amnesty for young undocumented immigrants. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you for listening. I am Chienye. Good afternoon.